The closer we get to the presidential election, the more the left has to actually start acknowledging the truth. Now, of course, they have to do this because once election day actually happens, all truth will be laid bare. So if you have all these lies you've been spinning and you haven't backtracked or hedged against them, then basically the idea is you will lose all credibility. So, of course, they have to come out and start really admitting some uncomfortable truths that Joe Biden actually is not very popular. And of course, Donald Trump is running a very effective campaign. And we're going to hear Joe Scarborough in the Morning Joe discuss this very idea. So let's go ahead and jump into this video.
You know, he says out loud that he would be a dictator and that he is your retribution to his voters. He says a lot of the quiet part out loud, even the frightening part out loud. He also has a campaign construct that now has his daughter-in-law built in. There are a lot of different factors to this that didn't exist the first time around.
That's right, Mika. You know, everyone here on the show has been covering Trump for years. And the big story in 2016 and to some extent 2020 was that his campaign was a soap opera. It was clashing personalities. It was nonstop drama. And covering this cycle, the thing that I've been struck by time and time again is that it's really a low drama campaign. These are operatives who are focused, who don't want press, who don't want their egos out there. They are focused on getting Donald Trump into the White House in November 2024, because as I write in the piece, his freedom is at stake. Really, the only thing that is guaranteed to keep Donald Trump out of jail is becoming the next president of the United States and appointing an attorney general who will get these charges thrown out. It's really that simple. And I think that is really why you see Donald Trump so focused. And yes, he says incendiary things on the stump, but when it comes to the mechanics of running the campaign, it is a much different operation.
So poor Mika can't make it 30 seconds without mischaracterizing Donald Trump, right? He said he's going to be a dictator. Yeah, go back and watch the video. He was clearly joking, you crazy hag. But of course, the main thing they're worried about is, yes, Donald Trump is running a very well-organized campaign, right? All that drama from 2016 is basically gone. And if you think about his early campaign and, of course, his early presidency, you realize that, yeah, all those people that were backstabbers, that were in it just to basically be self-promoters, in it for the power, they're all gone. They've been thrown out. They have outed themselves as basically rhinos and huge anti-Trumpists. So they're not in the campaign anymore to basically drag him down, bring him out, and of course, leak all of the secrets to the press, etc. Right? So all of that stuff is now gone, resulting in much less drama and much more efficiency. And that, of course, scares the crap out of the Democrats. But also notice, Donald Trump is running for president so he will stay out of jail, right? So never mind the fact that, possibly he could be innocent and these trials are necessary. No, they know he's guilty 100%, in which case, why not just lock him up right now, right? Put him in the gulags. Let's have the full-blown communism that the left wants.
Well, and of course, the campaign, I mean, insiders on the campaign have told me that their goal is to basically minimize him as much as possible, keep his mouth shut, stop him from blowing himself up every day.
That's right. He every time he opens his mouth, he creates a news cycle. At the fundraiser this weekend, we saw headlines that he said, "Why don't we have more immigrants from, quote, nice countries?" And all the countries he happened to mention were, majority white populations. He says the quiet part out loud. This is a candidate who does create his own controversies, but, that really is baked in now, I think, to his brand. And I think the mechanics, the underlying ground game, getting the state parties in line, getting the Republican National Committee in line is really, I think, what is fueling this, success that he's had on the campaign trail. And now apparently he's got the money behind him as well.
I seriously doubt that Joe Scarborough has any inside information on the Trump campaign, right? Sure, he was a bigwig at one point in the Republican Party, but he has been in bed with the left, both literally and figuratively, for so long that I'm sure he has nothing left. Of course, the other thing I'd like to point out here is, yes, they do mention that Donald Trump has this organization coming together, but also he has the money. He's got the fundraising. As we just saw over the weekend, Donald Trump has now officially shattered record fundraising efforts of 3 presidents combined. So as you recall, Joe Biden had a huge affair with Obama, with Clinton, with Lizzo, with Stephen Colbert, and they raised $25 million at one event. Well, then Trump turns around and says, hey, $50 million down in Florida. Right? So yes, Trump has the momentum. He has the support, and he's going to have that big war chest as well. This is where all the support is going, and it all starts from the ground up in the Trump campaign.
Isaac, congrats on the book. So let's take this conversation and broaden out a little bit of what you're writing about, the MAGA movement writ large, with in many ways Steve Bannon and others as sort of the intellectual heft behind it. What are some of their goals? How do they hope to use Trump to accomplish what they want?
Well, Gabriel mentioned the ground game, and that's a huge part of what this book is about. What happened, the way that the movement regrouped from January 6th, going into the party structure itself, starting at the bottom, at the precinct level, going all the way up through the counties, the districts, the states, getting to the RNC, making it possible to get a new chair and co-chair who would even be Trump's own daughter-in-law. And whatever's going on at the Trump campaign, whatever's going on with the Trump trial, that organization is going to be out there in the field, focusing on looking for voter fraud and also for getting out the vote among Trump supporters. And that is a huge part of making him a more formidable candidate than he's been in the past.
This is actually incredibly important and really shows the great idea that Steve Bannon had that, yes, politics is local. If you can get involved at the local level, then of course you can go up from there. And eventually you can even overturn the corrupt RNC. You had Ronna McDaniel, who is basically known for backstabbing all of the popular candidates and replacing them with rhinos in districts where you could win easily, right? So she is now gone. She has been ousted. And now you have people in power who are actually willing to look at certain things a certain way. And one of those certain things, of course, is election integrity. So over here, we can see that, yes, you have to be in the room, right? Our RNC chair pledges to have thousands of attorneys watching when 2024 ballots are counted. A lot of people, myself included, are very worried about election integrity, right? If they were able to steal it once in 2020, why not do the exact same thing again in 2024? So how in the world do you stop it? Well, you get a whole bunch of lawyers across the entire country who are very familiar with each state's process, right? What election rules have the legislators laid out in each state? And then you have the lawyers on call in the rooms with the poll watchers saying, hey, this is legal, this is not. And if you're really worried about it, you even get the police in there to back up all of this stuff, right? So basically, we have to have transparency. If they can't kick us out, if they can't count things in the dead of night, if they can't bring in pallets of ballots in the middle of the night, then we stand a much better chance of actually getting a fair and decent election. And this is how you do it. And I'm so grateful that we now have some leadership that actually recognizes that, yeah, you really got to fight it in that ground game. You really got to fight it in that system, because that's where it's going to be won or lost or stolen or whatever the case may be. So yes, the left is officially scared to death that Donald Trump is running an efficient campaign. And now you see it all coming together. All of the efforts over the last 8 years, congealing into something that could possibly bring about a huge victory, a huge win for Trump in a couple of months. So as usual, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.